we're plunging into the underworldly depths of romance? That's right, we're dissecting the OG power couple of #Forbidden Love, Hades and Persephone. But before we dive into the steamy pomegranate seeds of forbidden fruit, let's rewind and explore the unexpected meet-cute that brought these two together, if we can even call it that. So, how did Hades first encounter Persephone? Picture this. Beautiful and innocent Persephone, daughter of Demeter, goddess of agriculture, chilling in a field tending to her own floral business. And then enters Hades, lord of the underworld, looking like a goth prom king on a chariot drawn by nightmare horses. Boom! He scoops up Persephone like a prized tulip and drags her down to his gloomy kingdom. Talk about a meet-cute, huh? Now, some might call this kidnapping. Others might call it a spicy Hades and Persephone fan-fiction Wattpad prompt. But hey, in ancient Greece where our tale takes place, consent was a bit of a hazy concept. As the story goes, Persephone's not exactly thrilled about her new digs. She sulks, she schemes, she eats 6 pomegranate seeds, which, plot twist, binds her to the underworld for half the year. We'll get into the intricacies of that legend in another episode. But for now, there you have it. Instant Stockholm Syndrome. Or is it? And here's where the narrative takes an intriguing turn, giving modern authors the chance to romanticize what seems like an apparent hostage situation. Hades, as it turns out, isn't the fire-breathing demon everyone thought he was. He's a misunderstood softie with a killer garden and a penchant for poetry. Meanwhile, Persephone discovers a badass queen she never knew she had inside her. Together, they rule, navigate family drama. Demeter wasn't exactly thrilled about the whole kidnapping thing, and according to the legend, fall in love. Now, fast forward to the 21st century. Enter #BookTalk, where Hades and Persephone are hotter than hell's fire. Books like Scarlett St. Clair's A Touch of Darkness are all about the forbidden, the dark, the swoon-worthy kidnapper who makes your knees weak. Modern entertainment hasn't just contained this romanticized version of Stockholm Syndrome to books. Just look at the popular 365 Days series on Netflix. What started as a book, but was so well received that not one, but multiple movies were commissioned. Much like Hades and Persephone, Laura was literally kidnapped and forced to live with Massimo. They ended up falling in love, and their story is steamy. Definitely not reflective of the fear, disgust, and dread this might evoke when considering kidnap and hostage situations. But is this just harmless fantasy, or are we glorifying unhealthy relationships? That's the million drachma question. Can a captive-captor love story truly have a happy ending? Can we separate the myth from the modern smut to still find a love story worth rooting for? Or is this just another instance of society unjustly justifying the actions of historically dominant males? A mindset so deeply ingrained that modern entertainment is rife with storylines like that of this Greek mythological couple. After all, why can't characters just get to know each other the old-fashioned way, court a little, and decide if they like each other? Why does it have to be so steamy for us readers to have a rather disturbing beginning? Let's delve into the psychology of forbidden love, explore the dark side of fairy tales, and see if Hades and Persephone's romance is truly #relationship goals or just a recipe for disaster. So buckle up, mythology mavens and smut sirens, because we're about to get down and dirty with the king and queen of the underworld. First, the kidnapping. Was it hot? Was it not? Depends who you ask. In ancient Greece, kidnapping was more of a persuasion with a side of chariot kind of deal, consent lines blurred like watercolor paintings in the rain. But in our enlightened 21st century, we wouldn't exactly call it a swoon-worthy meet-cute. But time and time again, our society has shown that forbidden love dynamics are intriguing for us humans. Actually, almost anything forbidden seems to make us humans pull the trigger. Just look at some classic Disney. Beauty and the Beast ringing a bell? See the similarities? Then there's Demeter, Mother of the Year. Not. Mythology tells us she throws a massive tantrum, plunging the world into winter, all because her daughter had a one-way trip to the underworld. Talk about helicopter parenting gone nuclear. But hold on, is Demeter just protecting her baby, or is she controlling? Was Persephone actually enjoying her newfound power and independence down there? Is there an underlying tone of freedom of expression here, leading Persephone to explore something she may not have before? Now the seeds, 6 little bites of eternal commitment or a sneaky manipulation tactic. Hades, the master gardener, knew exactly what he was doing. One nibble, two nibble, boom. Suddenly, Persephone stuck with him like peanut butter on Cerberus's fur. Talk about a power move. Was it true love, Stockholm Syndrome, or just a clever contractual agreement sealed with pomegranate juice? The legend never said he forced her to eat it. She did it of her own free will. So did she know what she was getting into? Okay, fast forward to book talk. A Touch of Darkness, Hades and Persephone fanfics everywhere. People swooning over a kidnapping, cheering for a forbidden love. But hold your horses, smutketeers. Let's not forget the power dynamics, the emotional manipulation, the whole trapped in the underworld thing. Is this fantasy just a sugar-coated version of an unhealthy relationship? Honestly, it's giving us more questions than answers. One thing we do know is that the myth of Hades and Persephone bears eerie parallels to certain unfortunate instances in modern society, where women are abducted and forced into marriages against their will. Similarly, in some contemporary cultures, there are cases where men abduct women, and societal norms or familial pressures force the families to accept this as a fait accompli. The notion of innocence becomes distorted, reminiscent of the ancient belief that Persephone, once in the underworld, loses her innocence. In both scenarios, negotiations may occur between families, mirroring the myth where an agreement is reached between Hades and Demeter, Persephone's mother. This comparison highlights the enduring relevance of mythological narratives, as they continue to offer insights into human behaviors and societal dynamics across different eras. In the end, the story of Hades and Persephone, while fantastical, reflects a complex reality where power imbalances and societal pressures can influence the course of relationships. Persephone's abduction, while framed as romantic in modern interpretations, can also be seen as a metaphor for the loss of agency and autonomy. Ultimately, as with most mythological stories, it's up to you, your experiences, your knowledge and culture to determine what's right, what's wrong, and what's better left in fantasy.